Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Exalted Church. Just quick, if you don't have a church, you're welcome to come see us tomorrow at 10:30. Be glad to see you. But thanks for coming out on behalf of Sharon and family. We're here to celebrate Billy Dean Buck Jr. What a very interesting gentleman he was. I'm just going to read the obituary. Sharon's going to say something here in a minute, then I'm going to read this book that she's written. And if anytime afterwards, if somebody's got something to say, you're welcome. Welcome to come up here and talk about Billy. We'll be glad to see you and listen to you. But his obituary, Billy Dean Buck Jr., age 69 of Fincastle, is finally free of pain thanks to the Lord's grace and now in his eternal home as of Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. He was preceded in death by his parents, Billy and Peggy Buck, our infant brother, Charles Brady Buck, the maternal and paternal grandparents, father-in-law and mother-in-law, Jean and Ruby Lee, and sister-in-law, Sue Lee. Billy is survived by his loving wife, Sharon, of 44 years, 10 months, and 8 days. You should be blessed. Whew. Sharon Buck, and brothers David Buck and Danny Buck, and my beautiful bride, Keena, sister-in-law, Shelby Huffman, Cheryl Anderson, special nieces, Michelle Morris, James, Ashley Lee with Thomas, very special great niece, Lily Grace Perkins, and many other nieces and nephews. Billy was a handsome man with a great smile. Above all, Billy was just being Billy. He could make you laugh, he would make you cry, or he'd make you want to pull your hair out. But above all, he cared, he endured many trials, yet the good Lord was always there to help him through every storm. Things worsened at the end of 2024 with numerous hospital stays, yet God would always bring him back home. His wife Sharon also was in the hospital for a month, yet Billy was there for her. Billy and Sharon got to spend time together from January 28th of this year until February 25th when the Lord called Billy home. Billy also bravely volunteered and served in the United States Army, and today a memorial service will be held Saturday, March 8th at 1 p.m. Exalted Church. But Billy was Billy, you know. I'm sure Chuck's got stories. Lee's probably definitely got stories. But Sharon's going to say something, then we'll play a song, and I'm going to read this book. Aiden, we're going to use the cordless mic.
See you right in front. Okay. Can you join me and Danny? Okay. This is many, many years, and this is. Oh, I'm sorry. This is from many, many years ago. So this is from your brother. He loved y'all very, very much. He didn't understand a whole lot of times, and as the years went on, and I'd say, Billy, they have families. It can't be the way it always was. So anyway, he wanted me to make you smile. So this is his final gift to y'all. And y'all will take it for what it is. And if you don't, whatever, this, do it for him. He wants y'all to, as I know you will, remain close. Always look out for each other. And every once in a while, reminisce between y'all. In the meantime, like I said, this is his final gift to y'all. Even though for 10 plus years he couldn't eat his beloved, drink his beloved, and pretty much this, but he threw in that low calorie on that. So anyway, and I'm supposed to do this, and the Lord's going to give me strength to do this. yours out. So anyway, now I'm going to, I have something else special, but that's at the end. And in the meantime, the book is a surprise, but I know you'll do a great job. All right. So we'll turn it back over to Danny.
All right, let's go ahead and have a little prayer here, Father. Dear Heavenly Father, we're just truly thankful that we can come together and celebrate Billy. We're just thankful for what he means to us and just what he was. He was definitely a unique individual, but he was Billy, so we knew what to expect, and just for him and Sharon to have that relationship for that long of a time, and hopefully now that she can get herself together and just grieve as she needs to be, Father, and just continue to bless her, but to encourage her to do for Sharon what Sharon needs to do. So we're asked for that blessing, Father, and we're just going to enjoy this day and this time as we fellowship together with family and friends. Thank you. We ask your precious and heavenly name. Amen. Yea, God. All right, this is the book Sharon has written, and it's through her eyes. And as she says, and it's probably the hardest thing that she's ever going to do, but just remember this is through her eyes, and it's a unique perspective, and I'm reading it as I just opened the page. So I really don't know could be ugly, could be mean, but I don't think Sharon's that way. So, but here we go. Honey, this is the hardest thing I am doing now, putting this pen to paper. So here goes. Remember, Danny, I'm still relearning my writing and hope you can read this. Those of you who don't know, Sharon fell off a deck. I think she broke 2 wrists, 3 ribs, had a hip replaced, and here she is. So we'll go through this and read it. So thank you, Danny B., for reading this for me. Thanks for being there for me once again, as you always were through the years. I love you, my brother. To David, my other brother, who I love, thanks for being there for me through the years. You both mean so much to me. So sit back, everyone, and for the ones that know me, get ready. And everyone, remember, this is for Billy and also for my emotional therapy now. So no apologies from me. You each have your own memories, and please keep them. What you are about to hear is through my eyes, through Sharon's eyes. Our last ride together, he told me he loved my voice, and to keep rambling as you do, I love to hear you talk. How can I describe a man? Well, we'll see. How can I describe a man I met? I don't know. We'll make it. How do I describe a man? I don't know. Yeah, something. But we'll go from there. Until he was called home, 44 years, 11 months, and 8 days, and married for 44 years. So, and 10 months to the day, and I'm very proud of that under the oddest of circumstances. I worked at a gas station at that time, and on that particular night, shortly after 9, the phone rang, and I was answered to hear, "Are you as lonely tonight as I am?" Of course, I hung up. I don't blame you. And immediately the phone rings again with words that, of course, I didn't hang up, which included looks across the street where there was another gas station that he happened to work at. And he was waving. He was waving. Let's see. And with store, he closed at 9, and I closed at 11. Does that sound right? Okay. He came over, and I saw the most handsome and funny man I had ever seen in my life. All kinds of things run through my head, of course. One was, I don't have a shot with this guy. We both parted ways, and I thought, well, that was nice, but I really didn't think I'd hear from him again. But boy, was I wrong. Needless to say, we were married 4 months, 8 days later, not given a chance to last 6 months. You didn't know each other long enough. It was the biggest, what they were being told, so long, courtships, short ones, we made it this long. And honey, you were still as handsome as the first day I met you, and funny. There's indifferences only you could have. You made me laugh, you made me cry, and want to pull my hair out, as you wanted to do at these times with me. Billy was always more kid than adult through our years. That and thank you, God, helped get us through the rough years. We faced many trials through those years, and God carried us through those times. Aiden, play number 2, please. All right, 2 stories that weren't really funny, that were real funny to me at the time, but 10 years ago when Billy was diagnosed with what would eventually take him from me, and we reminisced, and I laughed about it, and these 2 stood out. During both of our younger days, and obviously healthier days, we both played softball. Billy played church and rec, and Sharon played rec ball too. One particular game I had in Wasena Park, Dad Buck, Billy Buck Sr., was in his usual spot behind home plate with his hands holding onto the fence, and Billy was standing beside him. Game was progressing, and I stepped up to the plate, and she got a base hit. And she obviously didn't pay attention to the first base coach. She tried to extend it by sliding into second base. She slid under the player, covering the base, and the girl covering the base fell on top of her so she couldn't get up until she did. The next thing she knows was Sharon was called out. And Billy says, "You blind bat, such and such to the umpire, she immediately said, "Get out of the ballpark, pack up." And he stood there, and she kept telling him to get out of the park while he continued his ranting. Billy Buck Sr., all the time standing in his spot. Billy held up the game after 5 or 10 minutes because the umpire was going to make sure he left that ballpark. Only like Billy. The other one had to do with the food. Early on, a little over a year, we lived in his mom and dad's house, and Danny and David still lived there too. One Monday evening, Mom Buck, Miss Piggy Buck, cooked a meal. Her day off, and Billy and Dad, Danny and David, were all downstairs watching TV. She leaned over the railing at the top of the steps and said, "Dinner." All the guys jumped up, bolted up the steps, leaving me in the dust. As I went to the steps, they were already coming back down. I went on up to get my plate, and a big surprise, no meat. Whatever else she fixed to go with it was enough for me and her. She had fixed 8 chicken thighs. I learned later, and needless to say, the boys had plenty to eat. So, thank you. Billy replied at the time, "Well, you should have got ahead of us." You're right, which made sense, though. Through the years at the family meal outings, he always could be found at the front of the line to get his food. And I would say, "Billy, there's other people here to eat," and he always ignored me. I think some of us experienced that too. When his birthday came around, he was a bigger kid than ever. Ebby, he never forgot you shared a birthday. And he was so happy he got to tell you happy birthday last year. He was a die-hard UVA fan. Rock on. Anything, and he lived to see the evasive basketball championship. That meant so much to him. He was a long-suffering fan. Well, those poor Minnesota Vikings, they just outright suck. But he never jumped on anybody's bandwagon. So Billy's a Minnesota fan, David's a Green Bay Packer fan, and I like the Kansas City Chiefs. So we don't know how that happened, but a whole lot of rough and tumble football in the backyard, I know that. But he never jumped on any bandwagon in any sport. He was true blue all the way to the end. Politics, military were also a big part of his life. He loved the Outer Banks and the Smokies and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Keena, he loved you like a sister. Michelle, thank you for being the daughter he never had. You stole his heart from day one, and he loved you so much. Ashley, face it, you two were always big kids feeding off of each other. He loved you very much. Little Lily Grace, he only knew you 3+ years, but from the first moment he laid eyes on you, that special spark had with Michelle from day one was clearly in his eyes. To Shell and Cheryl, you were his beloved sisters, and along with his Suze, who is carrying on in heaven with him right now. He loved all the family he left behind. Scott, Amber, thanks for the many vacations, for me to take care of the critters and Billy to watch your big TV. We so enjoyed them, and he loved you and the kids very much. Wow. Tracy, a true blue friend, he loved you. Morgan, his UVA t-shirt buddy, he loved you. Jonathan and Lucy, he loved you. Hunter, Caleb, I don't know. McKenna and Mickey or Michaela. Of course, your mom being daughter, per se, maid, You and the kids, he loved you all. Did I miss something? Ashley, Baylor, Brady, and Bishop. Stevie, Ebby, and Christian. Even though he wasn't a big part of your lives, he always wished he was. He still always loved you very much. Greg, Ann, Jeanette, Ashley, Greg, Ashley. You remain true blue to Billy. He always valued that and loved the both of you very much. Jeanette, I'm glad we ran into you the last few months and he got his last big hug from you. Big smile. Miss Donna, what can I say except I'm surprised you aren't wearing a wig from those school years. I guess that's Miss Donna Henderson. Yep. From those school years. Later in life, when we married, we were very blessed to be your neighbor for over 16 years. Billy loved you and valued your friendship. We never had children, and of course, I had already had a child. His name was Billy. So he was a handful. We got 2 cats later on, Pepper and Tigger, and they were our children, and had a couple dogs along the way. After they left us, Billy knew I loved Dalmatians. So we got Brandy, and she was our child. After she left us, Billy wanted another girl, and I wanted a boy, so of course we ended up with 2 more Dalmatians, Jay and Abby. After Jay left us, almost 3 years ago, Billy said, honey, go find another one for you, your Dalmatian. By that time, Billy was having more doctor visits and adding doctors, tests, etc., hospital stays from time to time. So I put my focus on him and never got another Dalmatian. No regrets there. We had a little over a year through doctor visits, tests, etc. There were no hospital visits, and he could enjoy certain things. Outside of the home, monthly first of the month, and always the same place meal. We were able to enjoy short rides, and after he came home from the last hospital stay, he had after about a week, he wanted to go see Christmas lights. So we did that to the last ride, he was still the backseat driver in the front seat. We spent the last Christmas just me and him. 5 days after that, I fell off the deck and spent approximately 30 days in the hospital myself. Only one day did I see him because we had a doctor appointment, and then probably the greatest brother ever, Danny, for bringing him over to the hospital to see me. So we had time together. Typically, Billy said right away, honey, you got to get out of here. So he had to get out of here to take care of me, and I said, we're going to take care of me, of which I've got a sheepish grin. I worked like a dog in my physical therapy for 3 weeks to have what I needed to get back to him and finish therapy at home. We both helped each other with the small things, and one day I looked up at him and commented, honey, did you ever imagine at this time in our lives we would be the 2 old cripples? And he replied, no, and we laughed. One day he observed me in a pain and said, honey, if I could take your pain, I would, and he was the one struggling more. We were in this together. I never from day one let him live like it was his last, and we agreed we weren't going to live like that. I always told him this is not our last journey. This is our part of the journey, and it isn't it ironic that the last vehicle we purchased was a Dodge Journey. His last day and a half were great, and in the space of 10 minutes, Tuesday evening, God said, Billy, you're suffering enough, and your book of life on earth is a shut book. Come home, my son. So until I see my beloved Billy, he is on the greatest journey he will ever have, and we will be rejoined again to continue that journey together. God bless you all. Thanks for coming. And Billy, I loved you all the ways. Billy Way, when you think of Billy from time to time, and I pray you do, smile and go find the biggest piece of chocolate and eat it for him. Oh, Aiden, play song number 3.
It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark.
In the meantime, Billy, you go and rejoice with your mom, dad, and your infant brother, Charles Brady, who you miss so much. Find time to go get that crabapple jelly you missed so long from Mom Lee that you had every year. She made for you for so many years. And maybe Dad Lee will give you one of his pieces of candy that he had for his special ones. All right, this is Billy. Ha ha. Can you ask God to stop Buck's Law for a little while, please? I make you this solemn vow today before everyone. I will do the 3 things we were going to do after I completed my therapy at the end of this month. I will find a way, and you will be right there with me. Keep sending me those light shows that I'm seeing in the sky while I'm at the front door saying my nightly prayers. Thank you so much for that. I love you, and always and forever. Sharon. I got a couple things. Billy again was unique and a interesting person, well read, much smarter than I. No doubt that wouldn't be hard to be, but he of the 3 of us was the better athlete. He could run faster than we could. He could jump higher than we could. Didn't really like him for that sometimes, but he could almost dunk a basketball at 5'8", 5'9". His hand just wasn't big enough to take the ball all the way over to the rim. So we played basketball, and the people who live here in Roanoke know Roger Bishop, the jeweler. We would go play basketball with him over at Virginia Heights or somewhere over in Salem next to the Civic Center. I can't remember. Boys Club or something, but Billy, again, was the better athlete and just could jump. Goodness gracious. But like I say, it was fast. We used to roller skate. So try to imagine Billy in a nice green long sleeve shirt, gold cuffs, satin yellow shorts. Carl, you might remember these outfits, and our green tights. And we were fortunate enough that we didn't have $500 skates because Bill Buck Sr. wasn't going to spend that, so we had our Chicago boots. They were $75. And Billy had a race. We were in Lynchburg, and the guy, Bruce Bailey, I think you ended up buying a trailer from him, was the national champion speed skater, which to us back then, that was pretty impressive. Fastest guy his age group, Billy's racing him. Bruce said, Billy would start in 4 steps. He would be at the corner. He had long legs. He could outrace anybody. Everybody else is 4 steps, couple strides, coast. Billy's just gone by. Bruce is in the race. He squatted down. He said he looked up, and Billy was face to face with him. Billy was skating backwards faster than everybody could skate forward. That's in the middle of a meet, but that's Billy. We had these timed races, and it was designed so you couldn't fall down. You just had to run 2 laps, 4 laps, 8 laps, or 16 laps, and it was a time. Billy would do the time part of it and would fall down 4 times and still beat the records every time. I mean, he was just a better athlete. He could skate faster, run faster, jump higher. So, in the times we played Army Navy in the living room, you know, the Army Navy fight at the bar, probably tore up Mom and Dad's couch, maybe more than once. But we never got in trouble for it. Of course, furniture was probably built a lot better back then. So, but all the little bar fights we had at the Army-Navy game, or, you know, the Army guy coming in, the Navy guy jumping on him. You wouldn't go for that, would you, Lee? You wouldn't. It's the other way around. Yeah. Lee's Army. Billy was an Army veteran. He proudly served, and we were thankful for that. But Billy was unique. So Anybody got anything they want to say, add to? Yeah. Understand. So, but Billy was a neat guy. We're going to miss him. But Sharon, you need to take care of Sharon. Okay? Take care of you, celebrate you. But like I said, you can take Billy with you anywhere. It's just a thought right there. But we're going to be praying for you, and hopefully things will work out. You get out of your four-wheel drive walker right there. I don't know. Short of a motor, that's a pretty powerful looking thing right there. So, but Sharon does have one more thing to say. No.
Thank you, Danny. Beautiful job. I knew you'd do it. Appreciate it very much. Love you. Love you, Dave. Thank you, Thomas, for putting the pictures together under extenuating circumstances. We love you for that. Now, this is something special that I need to do for myself and for Billy. Danny got a balloon. Michelle, hope Michelle's Ashley, and little Lily Grace. All right, so each of y'all pick out your balloon, and somebody hold on. Which color you want, Spotty? Blue? Okay. So for this part, I'm going to leave y'all in here a few minutes because there's something I need to do with the day. So if y'all will follow me outside.